Zarina is our moderator tonight, and she will take you through the panel discussion. Thank you.
Hi everyone, dear guests, welcome. So this is the 4th edition of Straight Talk. Please, dear speakers, you may be seated now, please. So Straight Talk, for those who never attended this before, it's this informal talk show that we try to make as least orchestrated as possible. So yeah, I'm as a moderator, I'll be asking questions from our speakers who are all distinguished and successful women. And you as the audience, please, you're encouraged and feel free to raise your hand at any point. We'll have a microphone for you. You can ask questions at any time, or if you have a comment to make, feel free to do so. So today's topic, all about females and female leadership. Mainly we'll talk about females in business. When I was preparing for this, I'll tell you honestly, I was looking at some research and I was reading up and I found some statistics which I was going to use. But then in the end I decided, okay, I'm going to scrap this. And the reason for this, I'll tell you, I truly believe that gender inequality and gender disbalance is just so obvious. I mean, it's so evident, you don't need to see the graphs. You don't need to hear the numbers that, 1 in 5 or 1 in 10 executives is a woman. We see this in everyday life. For example, you look at students at universities, and I'm judging from law schools, but I mean, it's probably universal. Roughly half of students are women. Then you look at entry-level jobs, half of them are filled with women. Then you look at the mid-level, I mean, okay, plenty of women still there, maybe not half, but still there. And then you look at the top executives, and then all of a sudden something changes. I mean, where do all these women go? Like, what happens to them? And I think, okay, some of them might make choices that they decide to concentrate on something else. But I'm afraid that there are just things that stop those females from progressing. And I'll tell you one more thing, just again, an example about law firms. When I look at my Facebook newsfeed, and I have many friends who are lawyers, not in Ukraine actually, in Sydney, in London, in Dubai. So I look at them and they used to be senior associates at huge law firms. And then one by one, they seem to be dropping out. And I mean, I thought it was just one example, one-off thing, but it's actually a trend, and this trend worries me. So I mean, instead of showing you statistics and boring you with that, I'm just asking you to be aware and conscious of the fact that it's so obvious that there is this disbalance. So it's an important topic for all. It's not just about females and for females. I think it's for men equally. So without further ado, we have a distinguished panel here, all very successful females. One of our speakers, unfortunately, is running a bit late, but she will join us in a minute. So we'll start with a short introduction. I'll just take a seat. Okay, so on the far end from me, you see Svetlana Romanova, a lawyer like myself. And not just any lawyer, she is the lawyer at Metinvest. So she's the main lawyer at Metinvest and officially the chief legal advisor and member of the management board. And an interesting statistic about Svetlana is that she's heading a team of 200 lawyers. Think about that. Lawyers and 200. My next speaker is Sergey, and if I might say so, Sergey at her really young age is already an accomplished journalist. She's an active social person. One of her projects, just to name an example, is the Crimea SOS NGO, so the Krimsos NGO. But apart from all that, Sergey is the chief editor of Ukrainska Pravda. I mean, we all know Ukrainska Pravda, the online publication. So that's Sergey right there, the chief editor of Ukrainska Pravda. My next speaker is Irina Miroshnik, and Irina is the president of Imer Group. Now, when I think about Imer Group, to me, this is a traditionally male sector, and in manufacturing, because Imer is one of the divisions is Ukrplastik, but there's other divisions as well. And it's a big international company, one of the leading companies in Europe. Apart from that, Irina is really active in charity, and just one example that she works for the UN Safe Food Program. Welcome, Irina. And my last speaker, who actually might not need much introduction, Yelena Voloshina from AFC, whom probably many of you will know. So Yelena is the AFC in Ukraine, if I may say so. And I know that Elena has had a very long career with AFC, and to me she's an example from someone who started really in an organization and really made it to the top. I mean, there is no more senior person at AFC Ukraine than you. So welcome, Elena. Dear guests, my first question, and as I might have said to you before the event, the more personal answers you give me, the more concrete examples, the more valuable our discussion will be. So the question is this, what has helped you to become so cool and so successful? We aspiring females look at you and we think, okay, how did you do this, like really? So very concrete examples. For example, you might say, I had a supportive husband, he did laundry from time to time. Or you'll say, I had a mentor, someone who gave me advice at the right time, things like that. Or you could say, I had nannies. Or maybe you just got lucky. So I'll ask each of you please to say a few words about what you think really personally made a difference for you to become successful. And I'll start with Svetlana. Svetlana, please.
Well, obviously everyone on this panel would say you cannot make it up without hard work. For me personally, I think it were the words ambition, anger, and effort. In order to go somewhere, you need to have a goal, so you need to have an ambition. And you cannot betray it if you're to end up somewhere. You need to have an anger. Yeah, you need anger is a motivator. Yeah, doesn't matter how often you are abused, how often you are humiliated, how often you are underestimated. You need to have anger within yourself. Yeah, to proceed, to go, to climb, and then effort. Yeah. Effort is hard work, which I already mentioned. So obviously we can go on and on and on, but there are other speakers who might have their recipes for success.
Good night, everyone. It's a really difficult question, but if you're talking about personal goals, I can mention first of all curiosity. In my profession, is very important to be. Then diligence, because without hard work, I absolutely agree with Svetlana, nothing is impossible. Nothing is possible. So, and the third one, it's a little bit different. I can tell that I'm, for example, empath, and empathy is also very important in my area, in media area. So, emotional intelligence in my area is working. It's about personal goals. If you're talking about motivation in my life, my first motivation was because I was only one Crimean Tatar in Kerch in Crimea, and I know what is bullying, and I was only one, and I need to fight from the childhoods. So it was very good lesson in my life. That's all.
Да, добрый день, я на русском буду говорить. Ну, я согласна со Светланой, что для того, чтобы что-то сделать, надо внутри быть заряженным. То есть у нас так, мы, наверное, в одно время начинали работать, поэтому у нас заряженных было много, а у меня родители по жизни говорили, несмотря на то, что мы у тебя есть, мы у тебя не навеки. Ну, естественно. У меня мама и папа говорили, Ира, мы у тебя есть, и мы для тебя основа, но мы не вечные, и время меняется. И так получилось, что однозначно за время моего обучения в университете, начала работы после университета, я минимум 5 или 6 раз получала sorry face I'm up table. И каждый раз надо было подниматься, и внутренняя заряженность и желание быть, как правильно сказали, особенным, ни от кого не зависеть, добиваться каких-то своих целей, быть лучшей в своей отрасли. Они, собственно говоря, дали ту основу, которая дала возможность мне потом вместе со своим супругом что-то сделать. Если бы этого не было, наверное, я была бы хорошей женой в классическом понимании, я не знаю, Тургенева и так далее. То есть я сегодня хорошая жена, но в нормальном понимании сегодняшнего дня.
My story is very different. I was born in the Soviet Union when the ambitions were very different. Because no matter how ambitious you were, no matter how angry you were, there was a certain ceiling where you had to stop unless you wanted to become a Communist Party apparatchik and enjoy the privileges. So my ambitions then were to become a professor, teaching English, this is my background, teaching English at the university, or better in an institute where English was not the key topic. Because the ambition was 320 rubles, that's what all such people were making, no matter where you work, and have more time that you could devote either to make more money by giving private lessons, or spend it on yourself, depends. Then the whole thing collapsed, the Soviet Union collapsed, all of a sudden, here I am, PhD in linguistics, what do I do with my life? Cooperatives, I started teaching in a cooperative, and one summer I was doing a summer job translating for the World Economic Forum, and I bumped into a Utah-origined person who was parachuted by IFC into Kiev with the task of opening the IFC office in Ukraine. So he found me, and I was everything. I was a secretary, translator, accountant. So if you talk about the qualities, I'd say ability and desire to learn was one of the key qualities for me. Then my next step from this administrative job was to move to the advisory work with an IFC. And I became the first Ukrainian project manager of a USAID funded program, which was a very unique thing. And I came home and I was trembling and I wasn't sure whether I should accept the job. So the person who helped me was my husband. He told me, you can do it, go for it. So really, this person played a key role in my case, because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be where I am. So choosing the right partner, for me, was the second lesson.
Okay, so supporting husbands, being a fighter, right circumstances, finding an opportunity and going for it. I can see our fifth speaker, Tatiana, has just joined us. So the question is, what personally really helped you in your career? I mean, personal things. The previous speakers have said you have to have the willingness to fight. You have to be a fighter. Someone said, Elena said, I had a very supportive husband that really helped me. So I mean, in your case, what was it? Maybe you had a mentor or nanny's help. I mean, things like that.
Thank you for an exciting question. Well, the difference between us and guys is that definitely we need to have our backside defended by somebody taking care of our home and kids. So it's inevitable, and in whatever society you live, as in Europe or here, it doesn't matter. You still need somebody to take care or to help you with your kids at home. So this helps. But originally, I think the thing which helped me with my career and building it was the understanding that this is what I want to do with my life, because I started my career when I was 19, and I still remember the time when I was in the office. I just got there, and on the second day I said to myself, all right, I feel like home. This is it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and I keep doing it for 21 years since, so you can calculate my age very, very easily. Thank you.
Make any difference for you in terms of trying to succeed, or for any female trying to succeed, where it's all men around? Do they, take you seriously, or have you encountered where they sort of, discount you, don't talk to you, don't see you as an equal? Any stories like that, please? And Russian, yeah, please.
Хорошо. Да, действительно, если я чего-то не знаю, я всегда собираю людей, которые знают, выслушивая их мнение и задавая совершенно иногда глупые вопросы, я задаю вопросы в отрасли, в которой я, допустим, не разбираюсь, там какие-то вентиляции, еще какие-то вещи, я же не должна все знать. Просто элементарные вопросы, человеческие вопросы, они всегда открывают какую-то истину, либо новый подход, либо открывают ошибку, либо новый вид. То есть, естественно, надо много знать. Это что касается моего трудового коллектива, потому что при том, что мы работаем уже почти 30 лет, меня знают почти 30 лет, но еще 4 года назад я работала с супругом, и все-таки заводом управлял супруг, я была рядом, я управляла конкретными направлениями. 4 года назад мне пришлось взять все в свои руки, Ну, это было для меня как минимум год или полтора. Это такой серьезный, скажем, серьезное изменение вообще моего видения жизни, видения способа управления и так далее. Я осталась одна. То есть я не могла рядом стоять с мужчиной, с которым я там была шеей, а он головой, да. Я осталась головой, и мне верили, мне управляли. Теперь, что касается там мужчин в Украине, есть проблема в Украине. То есть у меня когда-то директор, которого сегодня уже нет, я когда нанимаю на работу людей, ну, которые напрямую ко мне там подчиняются, со мной коммуницируют, первый вопрос, когда я задаю: вы понимаете, что у меня в паспорте написано «женщина»? Ну, то есть и вам придется вообще... Да, вот, ну, если они пришли на собеседование, наверное, не догадывались об этом. Ну, то есть это первый вопрос, и я все-таки смотрю на эту реакцию. Ну, бывают случаи, когда там в какие-то конфликтные моменты мне один бывший директор сказал: как эта баба будет мной управлять. Ну, то есть человек пришел на работу, он четко знал, кто тут, ну, кто является SEO, его четко предупредили, что я не свадебный король, я все-таки в бизнесе. Ну, вот такая ситуация бывает. К сожалению, это для Украины типичная ситуация. То есть, когда мы общаемся там где-нибудь в Европе с поставщиками, с покупателями, этой проблемы не существует. Там как раз наоборот проблема. Тебе дверь не откроют. Потому что считается, они боятся сексизма или обвинения в сексизме. То есть там другой вопрос. Но как минимум в бизнесе мы на равных, и не надо доказывать, что ты такая же способная, у тебя такие же права, и с тобой не надо, ну, с тобой нужно считаться. А в Украине обязательно надо считаться. Первое, что надо сделать, это установить границы. То есть границы, что несмотря на то, что женщина красивая, привлекательная, в юбке, там, на высоких каблуках накрашен и так далее, ты такой же партнер по бизнесу, либо ты руководитель. Вот это вещи, которые в Украине однозначно надо доказывать.
Thank you, Irina. Now the question will be into Sudhir. I mean, the same question, but about your industry. Because I know that there's a lot of women in media, and I know Svetlana will definitely jump in after your answer, because she will say that when there's more women, it's harder. So please, Sudhir.
I didn't mention in previous answer that also I had a good teachers in my life, and I met actually 3 unique examples of women leadership in my life. First of all, it was my teacher of journalism when I was in Kerch. I started journalism in very early age. I was only in age 13 when I started it, and then I met my another one teacher in Kiev, Galina Panchenko. She was a former editor of daily newspaper Dela. Then Oksana Mytnitska, she also was one of editor-in-chief of weekly newspaper Vlast Денег, Power of Money. And last one, of course, Elena Pritula. She's a founder of Ukrainska Pravda, and for me is example of brave, first of all, because you know this very personal story of what happened with Elena 17 years ago when Gongadze was killed, and it was very difficult actually to continue this project after what happened, and you can imagine what was the freedom of press at the beginning of 2000 when I was in age 13 or 14 years old. It happened, yes, and it's still we have no results of this investigation. And yeah, that's why I had a good teachers, and in this sphere, yes, it's important. And also I can explain why. Because in media sphere is absolutely creative field, and you work with creative people, and if you work with creative people, you need to be a psychologist first of all. You need to be empath, and for me it's very important, and I'm proud that I'm empath. Yes, for me it's difficult to be empath, and you can imagine, so it's very hard. But you can better feel the world, better feel people, better feel situation, and
Your suggestion is that what you're saying is that women are nice to each other. In your area, you know, there's more sort of relationship elements. You try to be nice, you try to build good relationships.
Yes. You need to be a mother for your personal for your team. Yes, and it's very important to be a mother. Yes, for me it's very difficult to be a mother because I'm an age of 30, and I became an editor-in-chief when I was only 27 years old, and But I want to mention a very important challenge in my life, personal challenge, because I can also support Irina in this case, because I know what does mean when you stay alone. It happened actually last year when our colleague Pavel Sheremet was killed in car explosion, and it was absolutely it's very difficult to imagine. For me, it was very difficult to imagine that such a situation can happen actually. And so we were together. We were three of us. We were together, and Ukrainska Pravda was me, Pavel Sheremet, and Elena. And a year and a half ago, I stayed alone. So, and I understand. First of all, you need to be a psychologist for your company, because first emotion, it was absolutely fear of all your team. And fear in journalism is absolutely, you can it's very strange. It's very hard to say that it's very difficult to work after fear, and after that your colleague was killed by somebody. So that's why last year I was a psychologist, and I understand that before, a lot of people and my mother and all my friends told me that you're empath, and it's very difficult for you to be an empath. It's not good. And understand that it's very important. My personal goal that helped me in such situation than it was last year. Sorry.
Thank you for sharing such personal experiences. Svetlana, will you say something about women dominating the world and how do you compete with women?
Well, I'm afraid we are looking for a reason of this problem somewhere outside. Actually, I'm a supporter of the idea that let us, dear ladies, look into ourselves first. Unfortunately, there are not so many quality people around, and right now I'm talking both about women and men. The quality of person, that's something that serves as a basis for anyone's career. So the more qualitative we are, the more of higher quality we are as people, and we are talking about women now, the more successful we'll be. And I would not say that someone, there are bad guys around. I don't believe in bad guys, because I'm a bad woman. And don't try to touch me, because I know how to play by the male rules. And it's not something I want to do in my life, and it's not something I strive for. But if I'm forced, or situation forces me to defend myself, I will surely stand for myself. I'll tell you, when back in my career, then I was still a real lawyer, and I went into the fields and did assignments. I was the only one, in Baker McKenzie, they used to call me a dirty lawyer. The dirty lawyer because I was doing the dirty work, and dirty work was mining and oil and gas. No one wanted to do this. Gosh, going somewhere into the field with all the dirt, not understanding how they pump that oil, how they dig the mine, and all those brutal guys who just, drink vodka, they don't want to tell you anything, they don't disclose information or documents. I had to drink vodka with them. No, you need to, and it's not, thank you, but that's not the reason I made a career. I completely agree about empathy. You can succeed if you are playing by the game people around you play. You need to actually update your behavior, your language, your attitude. And I've seen many times in my career coming to a plant somewhere in the middle of nowhere, where the security guy near the gates would tell me, "Oh, you are from Kiev, this little nice lady from expensive law firm. They won't let you in." And I said, "Okay, fine, let me try." Obviously, if you are coming into the plant with this expensive lady attitude, saying, "Oh, I'm from Kiev, I know better than you." No, please show some respect to people, and they will respect you in return. So that is why I believe that before looking for a problem around us, let us look into what we are, you know, and how we behave and how we deal with people. And let's start with ourselves. And if we do that first, I think we'll be more successful. Sorry, I took a little bit of time.
Different from many other companies in Ukraine. I mean, maybe some best practices that you learn from those international companies. You know, what's your view? Is it easier? Is there a special training for females to succeed?
Well, one thing I can say for sure, they don't make us drink vodka. That's a good thing. The great thing, and I hear the difference, that in international companies you obviously don't have any feeling of discrimination. So consciously, people are trained to actually treat each other equally. So there is not an issue if a manager is a lady, is a female. The issue is with us, and I would support Svetlana, and it's not even with us, but with our upbringing. When I remember this lady, I became people manager for the first time. She came to me for performance review, and then she just came in and she started crying. And I thought to myself, okay, I didn't say anything, so obviously I didn't do anything wrong. That something must be going on. And it turned out that she wanted to ask for a raise. But she could not, it was so emotional to her that she could not just put it into a single sentence. Said, you know, I think I'm underpaid. Can you please do something about it because I'm worth it? She just couldn't. So I asked her to step out, to have some sip of water, you know, to calm down, and then come back and we talked. And she actually did get the raise because she was underpaid, which is another problem which we have in business. So I would say that, first of all, speak up, and that's important. We are smart, we are cool, we know much more than guys do, and the key thing that we should not expect that somebody will look at us and think, okay, how cool you are, how great you are, let me promote you. No, speak up. Share your ideas, share your opinions, don't be shy, because we are smart, much smarter than the rest of the people are. Believe me. So speaking up is what helps to thrive in international companies. Everything else is basically in your hands. Thank you.
I'll just say one thing, a little thing. I started my career with Cargill in Minneapolis in the United States. And there was a very strict rule in a law department. Female lawyers were not allowed to appear in a pantsuit. Only a skirt of certain length, a jacket or a suit dress. So I can, and it's an international company. In fact, the largest. Yes, but you couldn't wear pants to the office.
Is there an explanation? I mean,
No, that's the rule. That's the female dress code. So I would discuss, whether the reality coincides with the Declaration of Equality. But again, for the sake of time, I'll shut up now.
Elena, a few words from you maybe? I mean, IFC, what does it do anything specific for promotion of females?
Recently. At IFC, it has always been easy because IFC is all about diversity and inclusion. We are probably at the forefront. We have a women networking. We have a lot of coaching from senior women to junior women, and a lot of ladies pick up that way. Actually, in my Kiev office, I did the count. We have several projects and several activities. I have more women managers, and I have at least 7 women that moved from Kiev to Washington. Not a single guy.
Well done, Elena. I mean, nothing against guys, but yeah, very good example.
Actually, sexism can go both ways. So.
No comment from me. Any questions from the audience? So, yes, I see 3 hands. Let's start with the lady at the back there. And Lisa, just there, last row. And please introduce yourself. Just say briefly your name and company from.
Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. My name is Dinya. I'm working at the B2B target marketing company, and you've basically touched upon the subjects that is related to my question. Now, about mentors, so you've mentioned how important they are to you, but what would be the qualities or the life-changing point where you actually spoke up, or that made you speak up, and that was because of the mentor's, I don't know, maybe quote or some action? What made you speak up with the help of your mentor or mentors? Thank you.
So maybe I guess some really examples of inspiration, right? So mentors giving you some really good inspiration, натхнення to do something. Коли ментор дає натхнення зробити щось своє.
Life-changing.
And that mentorship and that inspiration changes your life or changes your career. Any volunteers to answer that question about mentors?
I have a very unusual mentor. It is my mother. She has been my mentor all my life. She still is. She's 80 years old. Her brains are probably smarter than mine. She has a lot more wisdom than I do. She understands people, and she has become very kind with years. And she still provides me with advice. I still share with her a lot of what is happening in my job. So when it comes to dealing with people, she's still my mentor. And in my job, no matter how much we say it's all, I'm in the financial world, and no matter how much we say this is all about financial models, this is all about contracts, it's not. It's about people. And when it comes to people, my mom is my best mentor.
Yeah, I can take the question. Thank you so much. Mentors do play important role in my life. It was actually a manager, the best one, which I had. It was a Swedish guy who was a GM and who actually took care for me as a person, not only as an employee. So what he did, first of all, after I passed my trial period, he took me out for feedback session as a breakfast, and he spent 4 hours with me. And can you imagine, the best thing which manager can invest into you is your time, and he did that. And what we agreed, since I was very junior in the role, that he would, after each meeting where he witnesses my behavior, he would provide feedback. So basically, after management meetings, he would spend 5 or 10 minutes with me saying that, okay, you reacted this way, you said that, this is how it influenced the other team members. So I would suggest that next time you do it differently, or you continue doing that. He also enrolled me into 360, and I got some major revelations in 360. I thought that I was win-win super negotiator, and my team said, my peers said that I'm pushy and destructive. And this is how my self-awareness journey started, with his feedback and then 360, to which he enrolled me. So if you do have toxic manager, if you do have some team with whom you don't want to work, who are not your role models, do think about changing something. It might be changing team, company, or manager. It's not as simple as it sounds, of course, but generally do work with people whom you like, who you can learn from, and who you respect. Thank you.
I mentioned before that I had problems with my classmates in my school. And when I was age maybe 14, I asked my mom, after such bullying, that please, I want to change school, please, can you help me in this case? And the mother first said, okay, we will. And she said, okay, I will find for you good school. And then after 2 months, when I was preparing actually that I will start my new year in new school, it was, if I'm not 10, so it's not, I don't remember. So, and she came to me and said, okay, if you will now change school, you understand that you'll be not a leader, and winner became your classmates, because they did everything possible that you will go. Yeah, so that's why so you need to stay and you need to finish your school with your classmates. And it was for me one of the most important experience how to fight to the end. When, of course, it was very difficult for me next 2 years spent in the school, but I did what my mom said for me. Yeah.
Ну да, я хочу пару слов сказать. Обратите внимание, мы все сказали, что начало-то в наших папах и мамах. То есть мы родом из детства, и на самом деле то, что нам родители, ну, то, что в нас родители заложили, то, что они нам дали, нормально работает. То есть мы все родом из детства. К сожалению, в свои столько-то лет, сколько я имею, я уже вижу, что то, что заложено в человеке в его детстве от родителей, уже не поменяешь. Ну, наверное, есть какие-то варианты, но у меня не было таких ситуаций. То есть дальше мы уже развиваемся и стартуем, и от нас зависит. Это либо мы дальше развиваемся, либо мы останавливаемся перед событиями, мы боимся их, либо мы идем вперед. И правильно сказала Светлана, что все, что вокруг происходит, начни с себя. То есть если у тебя внутри есть то, что дает тебе силы, а это только любовь к себе, душевное равновесие при любых обстоятельствах и возможность проанализировать ситуацию, посмотреть, что тебя беспокоит, ну, это немножко потом мы к этому приходим. В моем случае для меня еще важно было, вот мой супруг, мы встретились, это два человека, ну, мое мнение, то есть я, кстати, о нем ничего не сказала. То есть у меня как раз ситуация была, когда два человека совершенно идейных, совершенно вдохновленных встретились, и была бешеная синергия, то есть он инженер, изобретатель с патентами, я к этому моменту была экономистом, там, не знаю, факультет кибернетики закончила с математическим мышлением и так далее. То есть это два человека, которые объединились и на ровном месте создали отрасль. Моя заслуга, наверное, не такая большая. Заслуга была все-таки моего супруга, как изобретателя, это мирового уровня. Но для того, чтобы создать отрасль и работать в ней, и стать каким-то там значимым во всем мире, то только команда. И что бы мы ни говорили, все-таки наша личная жизнь, она очень сильно влияет. И события в нашей личной жизни, они очень сильно влияют. И самое главное, чтобы, если о женщине говорить, мы при любых обстоятельствах, мы не должны сдаваться, мы не должны озлобляться, мы не должны обижаться. То есть мы должны в первую очередь любить саму себя, потом детей, супруга и всех вокруг. Если не будет любви к себе, ничего не будет. И у меня еще вот интересный момент, вот опять же, 4 года назад, когда я осталась одна, 3 компании, наши партнеры взяли фактически надо мной шефство на уровне SEO, вице-SEO. Это Dow Chemical, это огромная компания, то есть на уровне первых лиц они взяли надо мной шефство. Они мне рассказывали, как делать, как поступать. Я благодарна им. Компании швейцарские, которые рассказывали мне, как делать, как поступать. Они мной занимались, они приезжали в Киев, они вызывали меня в Цюрих, они вызывали меня в Дюссельдорф. Компания Хенкель. Это тоже, я им благодарна, это как раз этап. И, кстати, это мужчины, там женщин не было. Поэтому мужчины, на самом деле, я им в своей жизни благодарна очень серьезно. То есть за тот уровень развития. Ну, то есть надо пользоваться ими.
I just wanted to say what to do if you don't have a mentor. Most of us, I mean, you won't go out and it's like, hey, who is going to be my mentor? It doesn't happen like that. You're either lucky or not. I was sitting here and thinking whether I can, really put on a name here and say, well, this guy or this girl was really making an impact on my life. I wouldn't say so. There were situationally people who helped me with advice or with, otherwise, but I wouldn't say I had a single figure in my life. So what to do if you don't have this mentor in life? Again, my advice would be, don't go looking around for a mentor. Start with yourself. Start reflecting on yourself, analyzing yourself. What our parents would tell us, look into yourself from the outside. Yeah? Try to be critical, because most of us go around and say, we're always right, we're smart, we're beautiful, everyone is wrong. It doesn't happen that way. Then you stop there sitting at home and think, well, it's like, well, I'm not that beautiful. In fact, I'm not really near it. And then I'm not that smart. There are smarter people around me, and I might not be the most pleasant person in life. So what should I change? And you start talking to yourself. So people, the best, the best person to talk to is always yourself, because this is where you can have a frank conversation. This is where you can be really sincere. You don't have to be afraid of anyone. You don't have to be afraid of someone thinking something about yourself. And that's the biggest value. So don't forget about it. Reflect, yeah? Reflections, self-reflections, and evaluate yourself. And it doesn't take a lot of time, but try to think about what you do, how you do it. I still do it. I get out of some meeting and think, gosh, I must have looked stupid. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it again. And I teach myself lessons also. Yeah, and then I see people nodding. Yeah, it happens to all of us because we are critical to ourselves, right?
Yes. Thank you for that answer. But just a very quick comment I'll make. I mean, it's well documented that men are probably a bit more confident, negotiate better, more pushy. They maybe doubt themselves less. And it has been also said, and I read some research before the event, that men are actually promoted for their potential, and women are promoted for past achievements. So I see what you're saying. You have to be critical, you have to analyze and see how you can improve. But at the same time, you have to keep faith in yourself, right? And think that not everyone is brilliant and smart. Everyone is a person and a human being and has their flaws. So you have to be confident and persevere.
I have an answer why men are promoted faster. Because they are risk takers. Women are not risk takers, and I'll talk about it probably later. And this is one of the reasons why we are not successful, because we are chicken. Girls, we are chicken. We're afraid of everything. We've got a lot of potential, we're smart as hell, but we are not risk takers in our majority, right? We'll talk about it later. That was a teaser.
We did have another 1 or 2 questions. If there's still a question, 2 of them. Please, Anissa, there's a question there. There's a lady in the first row. But please, let's try to keep the questions and answers a bit brief.
Olena Bonder, co-founder Noble's Forge. I have two short questions. First one to Irina. You're a very bright woman. And you show that you're not following the male rules. So, as I understand, there are 2 different ways, female and male leadership. Only in the leadership way. What could be strength for all of us as a women in the leadership way as a women? И второй вопрос к Татьяне. Как Red Bull, как директор Red Bull, вы поддерживаете женщин в их инициативе? Что вы делаете на местах? Как вы их поддерживаете? Спасибо.
Два разных вида лидерства, мужчина и женщина, да, в чем отличие? Такой вопрос.
В чем сила женского лидерства?
Мы родились женщинами, мы не можем отказываться от нашего женского начала. То есть это первое, это однозначно. То есть мы категорически не должны работать на поле мужчины, потому что мы не можем, мы не мужчины. То есть женщина, она в любом случае более... При принятии риска мужчины способны быстрее отреагировать, женщины все просчитывают. То есть я вот по себе, мне надо время больше, чем надо было моему супругу для принятия риска, я требую больше расчетов, я требую больше обоснований. Я думаю, что это просто другой способ. То есть теперь мы все-таки все равно я добрая. То есть если речь будет идти о том, что ко мне надо будет выбирать в отношении трудового коллектива или в отношении людей, с которыми я работаю, я все равно буду жесткой ровно в той степени, в которой это требует безопасность бизнеса. То есть и ко мне, и все это понимают. То есть я не мама, я королева, да, это я условно говорю, чтобы вы там не... Но все равно женщина, она все равно женщина. То есть, а если мы говорим о взаимоотношениях с мужчинами в бизнесе и так далее, мы же все равно приходим на переговоры, у меня 20% скидки изначально, потому что я красивая. Ну, то есть этим надо пользоваться. И это не есть там какие-то, ну, любой мужчина, какой бы он ни был, украинский мужчина. То есть первое, ты говоришь о том, я такая же, как и ты. Второе, ты говоришь, я красивая женщина. То есть и все нормально. То есть в любом случае любой мужчина, опять же, при условии, что ему нужно сделать выбор, ну, в переговорах, ему нужно сделать выбор, и в пределах допустимого он все равно женщине пойдет на уступку, потому что я веду себя как женщина на переговорах. То есть, ну, я думаю, это так.
Ира, что делать некрасивым женщинам? Давай сразу универсальный какой-то совет.
А бывает некрасивая женщина?
Подождите, бывают ли некрасивые женщины? Все женщины красивые, главное изнутри ведь. Вопрос же не в том, что ты... Вот ты правильно говорила, найди саму себя. То есть любая женщина, она должна найти саму себя. Как только она себя находит, она в любом случае, красивая, сексуальная, давайте не пугаться этого слова. То есть и она излучает энергию, женскую энергию. Мне когда-то, это уже там не по теме, мне когда-то один знакомый сказал, послушай меня, женщина впечатляет не за формой, не по одежде. Должна быть внутренняя женская энергия. Я не понимаю разницы между красивой и некрасивой, не существует. Бывает женственное и неженственное.
Я бы, если можно, добавила, мне кажется, что одно из основных качеств лидера – это умение слушать. Но женщина по природе своей может слушать гораздо лучше, дольше и эффективнее, чем мужчина. Поэтому у нее немножко другой стиль, я согласна. И не надо отказываться от этого стиля. Не надо отказываться от того, что ты женщина, надо становиться мужчиной. Просто мы это делаем по-другому. В чем-то лучше, в чем-то хуже. Профессионально и все.
Во-первых, я не соглашусь. I would disagree with the previous speakers because I prefer to излучать свою женскую энергию все-таки дома и в кругу друзей. And in the office I'm professional, and that's it. And it doesn't mean that I behave like guys. What does it mean behaving like guys? Come on. It just means that you're result-oriented. What's wrong with that? Being a woman and being result-oriented is not mutually exclusive things. I like achievements. I like to speak to other people. I like to build teams. But I'm not behaving as a mom because I'm mom at home. I'm not mom in the office. So it's not working like that for me, for example. But I assume that it is working for many ladies and there are some beliefs like that. In international companies, I'm not allowed to speak on behalf of Red Bull. This is a rule in the company. We're being owned by a family and only family representatives can speak about Red Bull. However, there are some very good practices which other international companies do. And I was part of Women in Leadership program launch in Ukraine by Bacardi Martini. And what they did, they understood the thing of us being shy, but being bright at the same time. So what they did, they opened up a program, Women in Leadership, asking ladies of entry-level and up to mid-level management to apply with the projects and ideas which they have within their sphere of interest. And then their projects went through internal contests and they were selected for the special HYPO program, which was specially dedicated to ladies, giving them opportunity to, shine bright like a diamond in the end of the day. And then they were assigned mentors officially by the company, not the direct managers, but somebody from other country with a senior position. They were guided through the process of this project implementation, and based on the results of the project, therefore, they would be evaluated. So this is giving an extra opportunity to show what you can do. It's an extra opportunity to speak up, and you actually almost made to show what you can do by the circumstances. And also you have a mentor, which I believe in power of mentorship big time, both official or unofficial. So it works a lot. In Coca-Cola, we had this program which was called also Female Leadership. So female leaders were sent around the world to exotic locations and were taught by female vice presidents how they achieved success. And I mean, sharing is a key thing for us. This is what I believe is the key feature for female leadership. We do like to share. We do like to look at others and see examples. We do like to both talk and listen. And this is what I believe can bring us to higher success. Thank you.
Можно я откомментирую? Послушайте, вопрос же был в другом. Вопрос был, в чем отличие. То, что... у Татьяны другой вопрос. То есть, профессионализм в любом случае важен. Извините, красотой бизнес не делают, и положительные результаты нет. Должны быть знания и профессионализм. А дальше уже разница. То есть, вот и все. То есть никто не отказывается от профессионализма, от знаний, от базы. Елена правильно сказала. Важно профессионализм. Все остальное...
Just one observation I'd like to make, just by hearing your responses. I mean, I look at 5 of you, and you're all different. You're really all different. So I mean, and you're all successful. So I guess. Well, apart from being female, yeah, which is the same for all of you. And good-looking females, that's right. I mean, I guess for men and for women, there's no one unique set of skills or set of personal traits or whatever. I mean, we are unique, we are different, we all have weaknesses and strengths. I mean, your styles are probably different, all 5 of you are different, but you're still successful, which to me shows the point that you have to be, I guess, true to yourself. You have your ambition, and you know what works for you, you know what your strong points are, and you persevere through your career with that. So one more question, but please try to keep it brief if there is still a question. Yes, Alisa, please. Right there.
I'm the guy speaking. I'm Luke Sheehan, the CEO of Kyiv Post, so thanks for coming tonight. This is a great way to end the year. Some of you might have heard the term called mansplaining. It's a term in the West that's called mansplaining, when men are usually explaining to women in a company, but they're like talking down to them. And it's become, yeah, but they call it mansplaining, which has become a big thing. How do, with great successful women such as you in business, how do you deal with such a situation when somebody is talking down to you while explaining because they view you in a certain way? How do you bounce back, and how do you deal with that situation?
Thank you for the question. Just before you answer, so the question is, когда мужчины смотрят на вас не как на не на равных, потому что вы женщина, какая реакция? Пытаются что-то вам объяснить, они смотрят на вас как inferior.
Smile. What, yeah, stupid. Yeah. You see, I mean, people would do that to you if you allow them to do it to you. It's like bullying in school. I'm a redhead. Obviously, then I went to the first grade, everyone was trying to call me redhead, Rija, everyone understands how it goes in school. And my parents, I haven't talked about my parents, my parents told me, one simple truth. If you allow it, you'll have it. If you don't allow it, then you're free. So I wouldn't react. Never ever again in my entire school days, anyone dared to call me redhead. It's not. It's about, again, start with yourself. Do you want to give in to such an attitude, or do you want just shred it off? Whatever. People, and guys and women equally, they know, then they see strength. And I'm not talking physical strength, I'm talking about this strength, the integrity, the self-respect you have. So they know it, so they try it, they try to push you. If you don't give in, you win. So just disregard it, smile. Obviously, it's easy to say than to do. You go home and cry, but that's what you do at home.
When I was an age 20 years old, I started to work in daily newspaper, and my topic was oil and gas. So I can understand you. Of course, you can imagine 20 years old girl, and a lot of ministers, then oil and gas businessmen. And you can imagine how they met me when I came to the office, to the interview, and also I started investigative reporting. So you can imagine, in 20 years, a young girl came and said, I want to ask you a very difficult question, very strange question. And sometimes, of course, I heard very strange things. For example, when I was in daily newspaper, when I was Vlastenik reporter, one deputy minister of oil and gas said, а у тебя есть 18? Может быть, я, если хочу к тебе приставать, то может, я не понесу уголовной ответственности. Вот, ну, приблизительно вот такой комментарий был. So, how I reacted? Как я реагировала? Ну, конечно, неприятно мне было, но в какой-то момент они все переставали так относиться после того, как выходили материалы. Их или увольняли, или какой-то там скандал коррупционный вновь там как бы вот. То есть это все как бы стереотипы, они срабатывают, ты никуда от них не денешься. Стереотипы будут, стереотипы есть. И даже когда вот я стала главредом 27 лет, тоже были, молодая, она сейчас все завалит и так далее, ничего не получится. Это нормально. Мне сейчас мои сотрудники признаются, что после там 3 лет, я уже 3 года главный редактор УП, и там год как бы за 3, честно говоря, особенно вот последний год, это было очень сложно. Мне один редактор недавно признался, что когда я только пришла, они делали ставки, как долго я продержусь, и самая длинная ставка была 6 месяцев, так что вот так вот.
Questions, finally. So we touched upon this a little bit, but about features that females have versus males and how you should be different in your leadership style. Again, there is research on this, and it's well documented that correlation between likability and success, so how successful you are versus how likable you are, is positive for men, but it's negative for women, which means the more successful a man is, the more he's liked. So he's a good guy, everyone likes him. And the more a woman is successful, there's a point where the society sees her in a negative way, because you are unwomanly, bitchy, pardon my French, you're not very nice, you're too strong, too direct, not sweet, pretty thing, okay? I mean, have you encountered this in any ways? I mean, do you agree that this thing exists, that society sees you negatively if you're really successful? And any examples you can give of that?
Thank you for a fantastic question, and I will give an example of a general manager, Lyudmila Vasilyevna Nakoniechная, who was heading a beer giant in Ukraine, Fortune 500 company, and she said one thing which I love, a saying, and I will say it in Russian, "Собака лает, караван идет." And it took me some time to actually understand it, because when I joined the same company, then my team, in half a year, they approached me and they said, okay, now we can tell you the truth. Before you joined us, we asked around. And there were 2 opinions about you. One was that you're okay and we are going to be fine. And the second one, that you are walking over the dead bodies and you're a bitch. And you can understand that since in 6 months they were able to tell me in the face, they thought that I was okay, which is great. The key thing is to do what you like, а собаки лают, но караван идет. Because you and your life is important, not what other people think or feel. Of course, it shouldn't go destructive, because we do have some destructive examples. But generally, the key thing is to understand what you want and then accept that other people will not like you. It's tough. We are taught to be liked, but it's doable.
You want to go first? One of my former colleagues with the law firm, long time ago, said, it was my peer, so she was sitting in the office next to mine. She said to me, and literally, you want to be rich, you're going to be a bitch. I still remember it, and I live to actually to prove it by the day, because I feel that I'm getting bitchier and bitchier by the day. And it's not a joke. Obviously, you laugh at it, but it's not a joke. I always had an image, Zarina knows me.
Well, as a former colleague, I always liked you.
Yeah, Zarina, I'm not sure you would like me. You would like me now, because if I say to myself that Sveta, something is going on, you are getting bitchier and bitchier. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I'm telling myself that this is natural, because the higher you go up, the higher risk you take, and not only your personal risk, but the risks on behalf of the company, the risks on behalf of people you manage, and the high stakes, they oblige you to be aggressive, tough. They oblige you to be sometimes, you know, to accept no compromise, not being kind of sussy-pussy type of thing. Is it either yes or no? And another reason why you get bitchier, it's very simple one. Guys, you are getting so short of time. You don't have time for being nice. You need to be quick. Out, yes, no, approved. Go to hell, fired. That's time issue. You need to be fast. So it's not about us being bad. It's about the role we assume, and it's about the risks and decisions we take and the responsibilities we take. That's my opinion. So I wasn't born as a bitch, but it seems that by the time I get to retire, I'll be the best bitch ever.
To me, you know, it depends on what you define as success. Because it really differs. You know, for someone to be successful would be to be one of us. But you could also be a very successful cook. You can be a successful mom. You can be a successful entrepreneur. It really differs. You know, it's certainly not about money. And I'm sure about this. Sorry, I disagree. I disagree. For me, money is something that I need to keep me happy. And it's not much that I need to be happy. And for me, being happy means success. I measure my success by not my job title and not by my salary. I measure it every evening when I go to bed, and I'm alone with myself, and I reflect, as someone was saying, on my day, and I try to figure out how much of what I did was good, how many smiles did I get today, how many people I helped. It's certainly not about the number of deals IFC makes or millions IFC invests, but it's about what these millions are making to people in Ukraine. Today, I met a small businessman. I know I'm not supposed to say company names, but this is a very, very special case. It's a small startup where people with mental disease make cakes. For these people, this is their chance of a lifetime. If I am able to help this young entrepreneur get financing, he is not an IFC client. And he is not likely to become one anytime soon. But if through my network, I manage to help him either to find a partner or to find the financing, and he expands what he does now, that's going to be my success, which is probably going to be a lot more valuable than a $100 million transaction that IFC can make in Ukraine. Sorry, that's my measure of success.
Можно я тоже скажу? То есть я с Еленой совершенно согласна. Вопрос-то не в том, ну, на самом деле, как ты для себя определяешь успех. Да, есть какое-то общественное мнение, стереотипы, их очень много, и если ты будешь ориентироваться на эти стереотипы или общественное мнение, либо обращать на них внимание, ну, сори, тебе тут не место, да? А что такое успех? Ведь деньги – это категорически не цель, деньги – это средство. Если ты ставишь целью деньги, сори, ты никогда ничего не получишь, и денег тоже. Значит, должна быть цель. Цель в любом случае должна быть социальная. Она не может быть асоциальной, потому что в этом случае ты тоже не получишь ничего. То есть, если мы говорим об успехе в жизни, и об успехе в бизнесе, об успехе в жизни, надо держать баланс. Надо держать баланс между тем, как ты работаешь, и между тем, что ты делаешь и с точки зрения помощи другим, в других проектах молодым, и с точки зрения твоей семейной жизни, и с точки зрения твоих детей, и с точки зрения роста духовного вот здесь. Это очень важно. Если не будет роста духовного, то ничего не будет и в бизнесе, потому что ты фактически не сможешь людям ничего дать, ты не сможешь их увлечь, ты не сможешь их повести вперед, ты для них станешь никто, а идут только за лидером. Ну, о проблемах там, может быть, говорили, там, сука, не сука. Ну, правильно говорили, если сука, ну, то он дурак. Ну, сори. Ну, разве мы с дураками общаемся, мы разворачиваемся, идем дальше. Для этого есть HR и так далее и тому подобное. То есть, а в личной жизни, в принципе, с дураками общаться не надо, мы немножко уже подросли. Да, у нас есть, скажем, вопрос. В связи с тем, что мы доросли до какого-то определенного уровня, мы сами себя сделали. Area людей, с которыми мы можем общаться, и нам интересно общаться, она, естественно, сокращается. Ну, собственно говоря, это обычный вопрос. То есть, в конце концов, она все равно есть. И мы здесь собрались, это вот как раз все люди, которые друг с другом были знакомы до этого, и мы регулярно общаемся, и нам не только хорошо в бизнесе общаться и работать вместе, нам интересно общаться на каких-то вне бизнеса, скажем, встречах и так далее. То есть,
А еще помогает возраст. На самом деле привилегия возраста все меньше и меньше мужчин, которые смотрят на тебя свысока.
Для того, чтобы не смотрели свысока, нужно каблуки повыше.
Ladies, any quick comments from the audience? Yes, there is a. Sorry, yes, please, a question from you, Elisa. For a question there. Men are specifically encouraged to ask questions.
Thank you. Brian Bonner here. I'm the chief editor of the Kyiv Post. Every day, stories about sexual harassment are breaking out in America. Hollywood stars, politicians are ruining their careers over how they treated women. Some are going to prison if their behavior was criminal. We don't hear much about that in Ukraine. Is that because there is no sexual harassment or criminal behavior towards women? And how do you react to these stories? Is it American women are crybabies complaining about nothing? Or is it that you go girl, wish we had that here?
Can I ask you a question in response? Do American women dress like Ukrainian women? Do they look like Ukrainian women?
Some do, some don't.
Obviously, we are from a different culture. And the cultural thing is that it's normal for the guys to pay attention to the girls. The real question is about the limit, yeah? How far that attention can stretch. And then there are always two who are involved. Yep. Well, again, we're not talking about some, violent actions, but it takes two to do it. And let's not again disregard the women's participation in that. Sometimes women, females, they encourage it. And again, if you come to the office, with the décolleté and a very short skirt, with a bright makeup and, behave provocatively, what do you expect? I remember what Ukrainians said about the situation with who? The Monica Lewinsky situation. They said, they need to be proud of their president. He's a guy. That's what's said in Ukraine. And I remember it very, because at that point of time I was in the States. And I was visiting Kyiv, and Michael was like, why do they make such a big fuss out of it? They need to be proud about their president. So it's about two different cultures. I'm not saying it's not happening in Ukraine. I'm saying that this is a part of it, in certain ways, it's a part of the culture. Women expect for the guys to open the doors. Women expect the guys to help them with the luggage. Women expect the guys to bring flowers on birthdays and holidays and so on and so forth. And it's normal. This is the standard we live by.
Yeah, I completely disagree. I think that no matter what you wear, there is no excuse for violence. And in any violence, the one who is stronger is to be blamed. Yes, we like to dress. What's wrong with that? Guys like fast cars and looking at ladies, what's wrong with that? But no violence. And I really like the way how Ukraine is developing. Do you remember there was recently in Facebook "Я не боюсь сказати" hashtag, where we were sharing the stories about different violence which we survived through our childhood. It made me talk to my older daughter, who is 15 now, about violence which I survived in my childhood. And I had some guys who were, I mean, like my husband or some other guys, they were asking, okay, why do you bring up these stories from your childhood? What's wrong with it? Didn't you survive through that? Of course I did. But when I was 15, I couldn't speak about that. And if you is a normal guy, you're a normal guy, and you don't violate or you don't behave violently to other ladies, it does not mean that it does not exist. If you were not raped, it doesn't mean that rape does not exist. It does. Violence is unaccepted, and I think the more we speak about that, the better the world is going to be. And ladies, do wear what you want. This is not an excuse for any violence. Thank you.
Okay, I think we probably have another 15-20 minutes. One more question, please. Quick question.
Thank you. So you talk a lot about mentors and the strengths of the women, but I'm a college student, and the question which interests me, how your educational degree influenced who you are right now. Thank you. Yeah, like especially if you got your educational degree in Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Повлияло ли ваше образование, особенно если вы получили в Украине, на то, кем вы являетесь сейчас, и вообще, как вы считаете, помогает ли оно?
То есть в сравнении с западным образованием или какой вопрос?
у меня образование Киевский университет имени Тараса Григорьевича Шевченко, романо-германский факультет, преподаватель английского языка и испанского, на котором не могу сказать ни слова. Помогло оно мне или нет? Пришлось в свое время, когда пришла в AFC, не говорить, что я кандидат наук, иначе бы не взяли секретарем. Зато голова была совершенно чистая в плане того, что можно было сразу accounting и finance, не надо было переучивать, да, из советского на западный. Сразу IFRS, сразу было проще. Так что в чем-то помогло, в чем-то нет. Я сейчас продолжаю учиться. Это, кстати, тоже очень важно. Я все время учусь чему-то.
Ну, у меня тоже Киевский государственный факультет кибернетики. Пошла в Министерство мелиорации работать в главпо, то есть никакого отношения к факультету кибернетики. Потом начала заниматься бизнесом, диссертация по инновациям в макроэкономике. Потом Киевский государственный юрфак, потом диссер. И вот эти экономические и юридические, это не потому, что мне надо было диссер или еще, потому что мне нужны были знания. То есть дети учатся, вот сейчас магистратура уже, они много лет учатся в Лондоне. Я их, к счастью или к сожалению, не оставила здесь учиться, потому что я знаю, что нужно западное образование. Но на самом деле образование это коммуникация, те связи, которые ты наработаешь, способность самообразовываться. Киевский государственный в то время давал это, Киевский государственный, Московский государственный, МФТИ. Да, то есть они давали эти знания и возможность учиться. Конечно, надо все время учиться. Если ты останавливаешься, ты никому не нужен.
Я закончила тоже Киевский национальный университет, институт журналистики. Но в моем случае, конечно, очень важно было совмещать работу и учебу, потому что институт не давал тот уровень знаний, который нужен был для того, чтобы работать. Но я, если честно, я уже говорила это раньше, я начала достаточно рано публиковаться в прессе, с 12-13 лет. То есть вот я уже посещала школу журналистики в Крыму и публиковалась в крымских СМИ. Поэтому ну, работать я начала только со 2-го курса университета, причем как бы моим первым местом работы был вообще телеканал спортивных новостей. Я даже комментировала матчи, и когда кто-то узнает это, ну, все смеются, конечно, потому что как это вот так вот, да, вот. А потом стала экономическим журналистом, да. Но я согласна абсолютно, что самообразование – это основа всего. Я постоянно что-то читаю, постоянно куда-то езжу, учусь, подаюсь на всевозможные программы, и все-таки не оставляю надежды уехать куда-то и получить еще как middle of career образование, да, где-то вот на год, потому что в любом случае ты в какой-то момент упираешься в стену и понимаешь, что самообразование недостаточно. Тебе нужно там для того, чтобы получить этот helicopter view, да, или выйти из процесса, да, и посмотреть вот на то, что как бы ты делаешь вне, да, вот. И, конечно, я думаю, что в ближайшие 2 года я хотела бы это сделать и закрыть тоже этот вопрос, потому что он меня беспокоит. Вопрос моего образования, он меня беспокоит ежедневно. И опять-таки говорю, что самообразование — это даже ты вот что-то читаешь, например, какое-то новое слово узнал или какой-то новый термин, я штудирую все. Я могу там, если мне что-то вот заинтересует, я могу 5 часов эту тему изучать, вот, просто читая всю ночь напролет там все возможные сайты по как бы этой тематике. Да, вот. Из последнего, что было, я даже не могу вспомнить, но меня это увлекает. То есть я могу очень глубоко погружаться, конечно, это иногда плохо сказывается на сне моем, да, и потом в синяках под глазами, но самообразование — это очень важно.
Я разделю вопрос на 2. Первый касается вот, образования личное, да, мое, да, и второй вопрос того образования, которое я ожидаю от тех кандидатов, которых я нанимаю на работу. Я каждую неделю провожу интервью с соискателями. Давайте начнем вот с них. Я вам вот честное-пречестное слово, да, и там, или как там честное, какое может быть. Я никогда не смотрю на вуз или форму обучения, заочное или очное. Для меня это абсолютно irrelevant. Какой это конкретно вуз или какой конкретно там была очная, заочная форма. Для меня, как для юриста, важно, что это было как минимум юридическое образование. На что я смотрю? Да, я смотрю на человека. И абсолютно на 2 понятные 2 качества. Первое, да, это мотивация. И зайца можно научить курить при условии, что заяц этого хочет. Вот я хочу, чтобы все зайцы, которые ко мне приходили, очень хотели чему-то научиться. Да, или хотели получить работу, или хотели работать. То есть первое, на что я смотрю, не на строчку в резюме, я смотрю, насколько человек мотивирован, насколько оно ему надо. И второе, на что я смотрю, да, есть определенные техники интервьюирования, все-таки опыт, насколько человек обладает потенциалом. Иными словами, насколько он обладает вот этим пустым местом на винчестере, которое я могу заполнить, да, обучая человека, давая ему новый опыт и так далее. Поэтому для меня западное образование не значит ровным счетом ничего и не дает никаких преимуществ при приглашении на интервью, при предложении работы и так далее. Раньше западное образование, как правило, это была магистерская степень, оно давало лишь одно преимущество, потому что сейчас все массово говорят по-английски, а 20 лет назад по-английски хорошо в рабочем порядке говорили только те люди, которые имели возможность поучиться за рубежом. Сейчас все поменялось. И как вот правильно сказали, что дает 1 год обучения за рубежом? Он дает, по сути, не образование, а helicopter's view. Это расширяет кругозор. Да? При условии, если у вас уже есть хорошее базовое образование, неважно, в какой стране получено. Конечно, чем приличнее вуз, тем, естественно, лучше, но, тем не менее, все зависит от человека. Что касается меня лично, я заканчивала университет Тараса Шевченко, Институт международных отношений. Вот. Так уж сложилось, извините. И действительно 1 год училась за рубежом, получала магистерскую степень. Но ни она мне обеспечила трудоустройство и дальнейшую карьеру. И сейчас, когда мои там сотрудники иногда говорят, вот я поехал поучиться, я говорю, это vacation по большому счету. Да, если ты хочешь учиться, ты больше возьмешь на рабочем месте, делая проекты, работая в реальном секторе, да, и, естественно, параллельно пополняя свои знания чтением, общением и так далее.
not really. I think everything was covered. Thank you. И я не училась в Шевченко. Ну, просто. Нет, как раз я не училась.
Yes, I'd like to come back to Mr. Bonner's question. Mikhailo Datsenko, U.S.-Ukraine Business Council, Американсько-Українська ділова рада. I think, Brian, I think the problem here is not so much that it's not happening, because there are a lot of bad things happening in Ukraine. There are a lot of good things happening too. But when it comes to filing a lawsuit, when you file something in the United States, even if you don't have a good lawyer, and here let's give hand to Radcliffe Partners for also hosting this. When it comes to a lawsuit in the United States, you're pretty certain, no matter who you are, a lady, a gentleman, a little child who goes against the parents because both parents may be abusing the kid, who knows, or if you're a corporation, you're pretty certain that the judge or the jury will be looking at all the things. And in Ukraine, people go, well, I may file an administrative suit or a criminal or a business case, but the judge is going to be bought, so why even bother? And it's not because it's not happening, it's because people don't have faith in the system. And until the judicial reform is done and we have new judges and new prosecutors, I don't think there will be a chance for real justice for sexual harassment, for criminal cases when it comes to corporate leaders getting sued because they supposedly stole from the state coffers, when in fact they were paying taxes. You know all those cases, you write about them. With that, I would like to ask the ladies, and maybe actually specifically, I would like to ask the lawyers here. Yes, Zorana. What do you think about that? Is that the real reason why there is no sexual harassment lawsuits being filed en masse like they are right now in the United States, and it's like daily news on any major thing? Thanks. Sorry for a long question.
To answer that as a lawyer. I completely agree that it doesn't matter which culture it is, which country it is, violence should not be tolerated. At the same time, I agree that there are cultural differences. Okay, there certainly are. And one such big cultural difference between the US, for example, and Ukraine is that US is much more litigious. There could be also a reason in that. So you go to courts much more often in the States than you do in Ukraine. Maybe in Ukraine you try to solve things more sort of through mediation, outside of the court, because let's face it, the Ukrainian court system might not be as effective. So you have to look a bit broader at these things. That's my answer as a lawyer.
Можно я отвечу? Смотрите, совершенно правильно речь идет о том, что между культурой славянской, культурой американской, отношения мужчин и женщин большая разница. То есть женщинам, славянам, в принципе, я сама стою и жду, пока мне откроют дверь. Никогда в жизни я в машине себе дверь не открою. Это должен сделать мужчина. Если бы в Америке мужчина попытался открыть дверь американки, был бы иск. Разница чувствуется? Если мы говорим, поэтому фактически между вот этими огромная разница, поэтому нет столько исков, нет такой проблемы. Женщинам нравится внимание мужчин. Другой вопрос, когда использование служебного положения, это совершенно другой вопрос. И у нас в компаниях есть социальные стандарты, социальные политики. Есть органы, которые рассматривают такие вещи. У меня такая ситуация была, когда мне было, наверное, 20... Только закончила университет, первый год я работаю, и у меня руководитель, замминистра попытался воспользоваться своим служебным положением. Я сделала элементарно, его стукнула. Это был замминистра, я была молодым специалистом в министерстве. Ничего страшного, больше он ко мне не приставал. Старый. Но послушайте, то есть разницы в исках такого огромного количества вы ожидаете в стране, в которой совершенно другая культура, такого количества исков, этого не будет. Но при этом социальная ответственность, она существует. Есть вещи, есть соответствующие органы, рассматривающие внутри компании, которые рассматривают подобные конфликты, если вдруг они возникают. Кстати,
У нас есть линия доверия, на которую она анонимная, на которую любой сотрудник может позвонить, да, и оставить информацию, которая в дальнейшем расследуется. Я, как член комитета по этике, который заседает раз в квартал и рассматривает эти обращения, ну, если было что-то, ну, один раз, если честно, но это было, скажем так, ну, один или два раза, и что-то очень, ну, невнятное, ну, таких ярких примеров, когда действительно вот что-то такого произошло, я не могу вспомнить. Там есть вот вопрос, и долго рука тянется.
Зоряна, якою мовою? Доброго дня, доброго вечора всім. Вікторія Вдовченко, я директор Інституту політики та урядування. Мені надзвичайно приємно бачити прекрасних жінок в бізнесі. І, якщо дозволите, я би трошки хотіла переіменувати от наше загальне питання лекції «How can women thrive in a male-dominated politics?» І, чесно кажучи, якщо в зв'язку з тим, що у нас досі в політиці лише 11% жінок, і це в зв'язку з тими змінами, які відбулися, хочеться більше мати і бачити успішних жінок, які займаються політикою. Дякую.
Yeah, but to my mind, politics is business. It's just named differently, at least in this country. That's why, you know, why bother? I'd stay in business.
Okay, now we are officially out of time, and I just have one final question to sum up all our discussion. Two questions actually, but you please pick whichever you like to answer. In your view, who's the ideal female leader? You know, who is she? What does she look like? That's one question. If you'd like to answer that, please do. And the other question, what I call the crystal ball question. If you all had a crystal ball, look into it and say what the future will be. Your predictions for the future in terms of female versus male leadership. So those two questions, please, quick responses in any order you like. Ideal female leader, who is she, or predictions for the future. Tatiana, please.
Thank you. I have Mike, I will start. I don't think that I have a leader, a female leader to whom I should look up, because I only can admire people who I know personally and worked with. What I would like to share is actually what I think is important is a success rule in my life is being happy when you go to the office in the morning and being super happy when you go back home, no matter what time it is. So having smile both in the office and at home is what matters. For me, it is an ideal situation in my work-life balance.
Despite being emotional, you must have mentioned it, I've never been fanatical about anything in my life. I never loved this particular band or particular figure or particular book. That is why I'm not a person to have an ideal figure who I would admire and say, well, that's an ideal for me. And it's difficult to talk about ideals in life. Yeah, that's a large philosophical question. So I'll skip that one. Because if to talk about some imaginary figure of a leader, that would take a lot of time, which we don't have. Talking about, you know, this crystal ball question, what the future holds, I think we will become sexless. I don't know whether this term exists, but there will be no female and male in business. We'll be just of neutral sex. We'll work as a team, we'll be result-oriented, hopefully we'll be constructive and supportive of each other, but there won't be a segregation into males and females. That's what I think, that's where it goes. I don't know whether I'm right, but salaries will be equal, so money is important as well. So that's what I think we will face, and I don't think it will happen next year, obviously. But if we're talking and predicting the future, this is where we will end up. That's.
I'm not ideal female leader. What can I say? I did mistakes every day, really. I did mistake often, yeah, and that's why. But I think that leadership is about also how to learn in your mistakes and how to improve yourself, and also about very important mentioned before, thing that you need to hear people, and what leadership is about humility also, and and I'm on my way how to improve this.
Я предсказание, я рассчитываю на то, что женщины останутся женщинами, мужчины останутся мужчинами. И то, что нам дано природой, мы не будем, скажем, нивелировать, извращать и так далее. То есть, в конце концов, мы рождаемся для каких-то целей. Будут роботы, это понятно. Это естественно, они уже сегодня есть. Там убирать квартиру, там считать. То есть я все-таки хочу, чтобы мир остался в том виде. Но, естественно, есть страны, в которых реально есть, скажем, дискриминация прав женщины, то есть насилие, там, всякие операции и так далее. Вот тут вот мы должны, мы все, да, я вместе с сообществом, мы должны работать, поднимать там уровень образования. Все-таки женщина, мужчина мужчиной, профессионализм, дом, семья в обязательном порядке. Дети – это счастье, то есть и дальше развиваемся и радуемся тому, какими мы родились. Вот я хочу, чтобы было так.
Crystal ball, I'm going to give it a shot. I think the world is changing. People are going to live longer, and that would affect institute of marriage as such, and division of responsibilities, and maybe even, marriages are not going to last through your whole life cycle. I'm happily married for 30-something years, but I think as people live longer, this might change as well. I agree about robots, but actually women, I think, have better chances of adapting to this new world, because when it comes to emotional intelligence, women are stronger. That's a fact. And some of the jobs that would be replaced by artificial intelligence are mostly guys' jobs. So when it comes to creative economy, women are doing much better. So все буде добре, дівчата.
Well, dear ladies, thank you so much. I have really enjoyed this. I hope everyone enjoyed this and got some good insights. So round of applause.